Well, hello and welcome back to this magical woodland. Today I've come armed with 3 lenses and 2 filters. And I'm on a mission, I guess, to connect with this woodland in many different ways, create a variety of different images and really feel into the magic once more. It's only 2 days since I filmed last week's video, and as you can see, the weather conditions are completely different today. We've got very heavy rain and it totally transformed the woodlands. But it's not just the weather that's different today, as I'll get into in a minute. There's a lot more that's happened in just 2 nights. So let's see what photographic opportunities await us today. Oh my goodness, just look at this. This was not here 2 days ago. It's not even a metre away from the log that I photographed, the chewing gummy looking fungi that you would have seen in last week's video. You know, this is so fresh. I'm definitely going to have to photograph this. But I think one thing that came to me yesterday, in the last 2 videos I've been looking for fungi and I've not been able to find any, but I realised that we've not really had any rain, not much at all anyway, in the last couple of weeks in this part of Scotland. And the woodland has been very dry. So I'm imagining without that moistness, the fungi haven't grown. And as you can see today with this moistness that we've got, the fungi is all starting to come out. I mean, like I said, you can see this is so fresh. So I think I've worked out why we had fungi at the end of July, start of August, but we haven't sort of the middle of August to the end of August, purely because it's not been wet enough. But now, today, this is here, and it is so beautiful. What a find. First things first, I'm going to try and remove some of these twigs and dead pieces of grasses that we've got here, so I can make a cleaner image. That's better. I've mentioned that I've taken 3 different lenses with me today. One is my 24 to 200mm that I'm filming with. One is my 105mm macro lens, which can also be used as a prime lens. And I also brought my 14 to 30mm wide angle lens. I think I was really inspired by some of the branches that I found here last week, as well as some of the sheer scale of some of the trees here. So whether I use that one or not, I'm not sure yet, but I'm going to try my best to use all 3 today, just to see the difference in the images I can create and add a bit of variety. But I think the first one I'm going to work with is the 105mm macro. Get quite close to these, try and get some interesting images of them, and really connect with the shape of these beautiful bracketed fungi. So being completely honest, I'm not sure if this is going to work as a macro. It's just not really doing it for me. But one thing I'm going to do is set up my tripod really close to the ground, see if I can, given this might work, and do some portrait orientation images stacked. That's not going to work because that's going to be in the way. Okay, I don't think this is going to work. Damn. How can I do this without a tripod? That is the question. Can I? Possibly. Okay. What I'm doing right now is a series of stacked images of the fungi. I'm really not convinced this is going to work. But hey, if you never try, you never know. I've just spotted another fungi growing on a log here, so I'm going to give that one a go. It's a bit different and I think it might have a little bit more interest from a macro perspective. So I'll try and connect with that now and see if it is. Oh yes. Now this is what I'm talking about. This is not turning out to be the most pleasant photography experience. I'm currently being eaten alive by midges. This is incredible though. It's a real challenge to photograph stuff like this. And today with the light being so wet and miserable as well, the colours aren't great, like they're not very vibrant and interesting, but I'm trying to really focus on the shapes of these and their character. I guess the character of fungi is dark, wet, damp environments, and these images are portraying that. I guess what I mean is they're not necessarily my cup of tea. They're in terms of I wouldn't print them and put them on a wall or anything, but I do think it's a fantastic exercise this to connect, because especially these ones that I found here, they're just so beautiful, and my camera is helping me build an appreciation for them and to see their beauty, and they're great fun to connect with. So, you know, as I regularly say, it's about the experience, but I think it's also about building that connection. You know, it doesn't matter if you do anything with your images afterwards or if you feel they're good enough to put on your wall. It's about connecting with beautiful things like this. And it is so beautiful. Like, nature is incredible, and it's amazing how a little bit of rain can transform the woodland. I've just found a huge slug. Now slugs and snails, sorry, I'm trying to keep the midges out of my face. The slugs and snails used to be creatures that I just thought were just like, ooh, slimy and horrible to connect with and look at. But that all changed during the pandemic when we were, you know, forced to not travel and go anywhere. And I developed a really deep connection with snails. And I also photographed some slugs on a wet day in the woodland near where I was living at the time. And this image here that I'll put up on the screen from back then completely transformed my opinion on slugs. I mean, it's cute. Do you not think he's cute? You know, they're part of the ecosystem. They're part of the environment. And I guess, you know, for me now, photography is about connecting with every element of nature. And unfortunately, just now, he's faced down the way. So I don't think I'll be able to get his cute face. But I might stick around and see where he moves to and see if I can create another cute slug image. I think every little creature is cute in its own way. Okay, my little talk there about trying to make Mr. Slug look cute is not gonna materialise. This one looks like an alien. He's got a right face on him. I mean, I still want to try and see the beauty in him, but he's definitely not a cute slug like the one I showed you a minute ago. He actually looks kind of scary. I'll show you one of the images just to give you an idea of what I mean, but yeah. Okay, I think I've gone off slugs a little bit for just now. I've just had the most incredible moment of childlike wonder. Kneeling on the ground, following a tiny little frog around. It's got to be one of the most challenging things I've ever photographed. The light where I just was pretty much non-existent, very dark, very murky, working with very dense, dark colours. And the frog was the same colour as the ground. And it took me a good 10 minutes or so of following it to be able to get into a position where I could actually photograph it and where it looked really nice. And then when that happened, it just happened to leap onto this leaf. And I just watched it for 5 minutes and photographed it, and I took some video footage, and it's the most adorable thing. And one of these moments that it was just so unexpected and so beautiful. I'll share the footage with you now as well as the images. Wow. Forget about the fungi. Just that moment with that little frog has made coming out today so worth it. Before I packed up completely for today, I wanted to come and say hello to this tree that I spoke about quite considerably in my last video. It's a very, very special tree, and it's just nice to come back and say hello to it. And literally the moment I arrived at the tree, the sun started to come out and the light is starting to lift. What a special moment. What an interesting day. You know, I don't often head out when it's raining, but last month when I was sitting in the woodland and the rain started and I was sheltering under that tree, I just felt so alive. And today I wanted to come out and embrace that once more and consciously come into the woodland when it was raining. I found today very, very challenging photographically. The fungi were difficult to compose and they were difficult to focus on, but they were beautiful to see, especially the second ones that I found. I really felt and saw the beauty in them through the imagery. And then that slug was a bit gruesome and a bit alien-like, but it was still an interesting thing to see and be aware of its part in the woodlands and everything that its purpose is about. But that last experience with that tiny little frog, there was actually 2 of them in the end, but I only managed to photograph one of them. It was special. You know, there's so much going on the floor beneath our feet that we're unaware of. And sometimes you just got to stop, look down, or sit down and connect with it. And there's just a world of photographic opportunities all around us. So I guess the message of this week's video has been to head out in the rain, embrace the rain and see how the locations that you love change in those weather conditions. I've mentioned at the start that I was going to be using 3 lenses today. I only ended up using 2. I have 2 filters with me, my polarizer and my mist filter, but I didn't feel the need to use either of them. But they were there just in case. But it's all about adapting in the moment, not having too many expectations and just seeing what equipment you feel drawn to use when you're on location. Yeah, head out. See the locations you love in different weather conditions. See how they feel. Do they feel different? Is there different opportunities? And embrace it. Yeah, I've come away with very different images today than what I'd maybe anticipated coming away with, but that's all part of the joy and the fun of photography. And it was a great experience once more. As always, I want to say a huge thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all again next Sunday. Wow.